Let's see, this, Stop Killing Games. Site is dedicated to the real action of ending the practice of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. Okay. Sold as goods, but designed to be completely unplayable for everyone as soon as support ends. The legality of this practice is untested worldwide, and many governments do not have clear laws regarding these actions. It is our goal that authorities examine this behavior and hopefully end it, as it is an assault on both consumer rights and preservation of media. Okay. Action on The Crew. The video game The Crew, published by Ubisoft, was recently destroyed for all players and had a player base of at least 12 million people due to the game's size and France's strong consumer protection laws. This represents one of the best... Okay. So basically, you have the issue of lots of games are having a... Here, let's flip back, because I got to show you something. There's something here to talk about this. There's a game... You may have, if you've been watching my streams long enough, if you've been in my Discord long enough, you will know, like I said, if you've been with my streams long enough, if you've been watching my Discord, my content, this is one of my all-time favorite video games. You're going to see how this is going to tie into what we're talking about, okay? This is Tribes 2. This game pioneered a lot of the CTF, capture the flag, a lot of the mass multiplayer gameplay that y'all see today, the intense gameplay and everything that you see today, came from the Star Siege Tribe series, and the Unreal Tournament series too, and Quake. But these games pioneered a lot. Tribes was in its own class of its own thing called a ZFPS, because you not only, of course, had X and Y, where everybody was considering, the regular 2D mechanics of things, but 3D in the way that you had jetpacks. You were literally flying in the sky and spawn die, spawn die, spawn die. Like, you think a lot of your games today are intense? No, Tribes 3 does not, that is an abomination. They've tried sequels to Tribes, but none have held up to the original Star Siege Tribes and Tribes 2. Now, my cousin, he had a clan in the original Tribes. I, of course, being a little bit younger than him, started with Tribes 2. This game was so massive, you could have 255 people on a server. 255 people. And we're talking about you would be dialing in with dial-up. Okay? Before multi-core processors were around. To give you an idea of how old this game is, 2001. This game's older than some of you watching the stream. Alright? The requirements for this game, if I can find them... It's been around for 20 years. I remember it was like Windows 98, Pentium 3, Pentium 2. Like your GPU had to have like 32 or 64 megabytes of RAM. Megabytes. So the reason why I'm talking about this is Stop Killing Games is basically talking about games that stop getting support, they stop working. So Dynamics, I think, was the studio behind this. Yeah, developed by Dynamics, published by Sierra Online. Well, over time, they stopped supporting this game. So people couldn't play the game. Now, what ended up happening was a community was built up around this. Let me back up a little bit before we get into the community side. The game was released as free, I think, around Tribes Ascend? Or was it Tribes Vengeance? They released it as free. I forgot what the vendor was. And they were supporting it for a while. Then the company went under or something like that and no longer could be able to play this game. So a community sprouted up around this to get you the original Tribes 2 files. Then you had to patch it. And then you could play the game. You can still play this game today. You can install it on Linux. One of my hopes has been we can get a community match together and all of us can maybe play a Tribes game. Like, if I can get a big enough match, I'd love a 16 versus 16 match. Now, what I would love to do, Ultra XL mod on this. I'll settle for Ultra VX. Base game is cool, but I want spawn die, spawn die. Like, let me give you an idea. Okay, so, like, I agree with this kind of legislation, because the problem is that now games are packaged as a service. Even in the case of, I've heard some single-player games are now no longer able to be played because they have to dial into some kind of service. And I do believe that there is an issue where if studios do create these games, and we're focusing too much on microtransactions and everything like that to sell the game as a service, you can't play these games anymore. So I do agree with the Stop Killing Games initiative. But at the same time, they are an expensive... So there's like pros and cons to this. Don't get me wrong. I agree with this. But I also say that in response, if the companies decide to end support for said games, they should patch the game in a way that the community can then carry on the work themselves and then shift the responsibility to the community. And if you have enough of a dedicated player base, you can do that. And if you want me to prove that point, where is it in my Discord server? Hold on. I gotta find the server. There is a server that is dedicated to Tribes 2. There we go. There's still a community around here for Tribes 2 to play. They still do pickup matches and stuff. The server's still active. It's not nearly as big as it used to be. But I do believe that communities should then be able to support the game. I don't believe that if the company, decides to pull out, it just, that's it, screw you, we got our money, we got ours, screw you, bye! I don't agree with that. I believe that there should at least be a move to say, hey, we no longer want, nor can we, or, whatever, support this game. We would like to make a community action for a community to take on the work to support this game. And then either patch it so that you can run your own individual servers, or you can, do whatever.